Decades before James Foley, another journalist with local ties died trying to get the real story on the battlefield.
Courtney Garish has her amazing story.
Wisconsin has a history of journalists willing to risk their lives in search of a story.
This was from National Geographic.
Martin Hintz is a big fan of Dickie Chappelle.
This is one of her photos, a napalm strike. It's just an amazing photo.
As a member of the Milwaukee Press Club.
And here she is out in the field, as you can see. Glasses, her pearl earrings.
He has researched her life and work.
Dickie wrote her own autobiography called What's a Woman Doing Here? And that was quite a good question.
She wasn't just a journalist, she was a trailblazer.
The woman reporter, especially in a combat zone, was just totally unheard of.
Chappelle photographed the Marines in World War II, first training in Panama, then the landings on Iwo Jima and Okinawa.
She was one of them, in the sense of she might have been a woman, but she would dig her own foxholes. She'd get down in the mud with them.
Covering the Reconstruction in Europe, she was imprisoned by the Soviets. Once released, she went to Algeria, then Cuba.
Here's Fidel and Raul Castro.
Wherever there was conflict, Chappelle was there with her camera.
The downtrodden, the injured, the hurt, the soldier on the front line, troops, men and women. And she had a real compassionate heart, and I think her photographs show that.
As a journalist, Chappelle traveled the world. As a kid, she traveled the streets of Shorewood. This was her route to school, and every day Chappelle would stop and salute the flag at this police station. Karin de Hartog is fascinated with Chappelle's life.
That's her senior graduation picture.
A history buff, she thinks her story should not be forgotten.
Certainly not a life that I would aspire to at all, but I admire somebody else that had that much guts.
Guts that would take her from working on the Shorewood High School paper all the way around the world, eventually to Vietnam, where at the age of 45 she became the first female journalist killed in combat. This picture was taken moments after a mine exploded. As the priest administered last rites, her last words, "I knew it would come to this."
She just seemed to be quite fearless, and it was just a very unique person.
For de Hartog, Chappelle's life, even though cut short, was lived the right way.
Follow your dreams, be willing to take risks, but also realize the price of those risks.
Next year marks the 50th anniversary of Chappelle's death. The Milwaukee Press Club will induct her into its Hall of Fame this October. Courtney Garish, today's TMJ4.